Hey guys, we're back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about severe weather in today's video, so let's get into today's video. Okay, now we are looking at the categorical outlook for day 1 outlook. So we have a marginal risk of severe weather for parts of Michigan, parts of Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. We have a marginal risk of severe weather. Then we have a slight risk for parts of New York and Vermont here of severe weather with those storms coming in. Before we talk too much about it, I want to show you guys the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect right now for those areas. Here it is. Here are the counties. If you're in those counties, be on alert for some severe weather possible. The probabilities, here they are. The warnings, we have a few severe thunderstorm warnings already. We also have a new mesosecond or mesoscale discussion. Clusters of storms will be maintained with further increase southwestward, posing a risk for damaging wind gusts through 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So for those areas, you're going to have to be on high alert over here for today's severe weather. Some chance, not too big a chance, but still a chance of hail. So yeah, we're gonna have to watch that. And then we have a wind threat. That's the thing that's driving the marginal and slight risk here. A 5% chance of wind, and then a 15% chance of wind here. So now we're gonna look at day 2 categorical outlook here, and we have a marginal risk from Maine, New Hampshire, parts of Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, parts of those areas in a marginal. And then that slight, we have Massachusetts, New York again, Rhode Island, New Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania, and that slight risk of severe weather here. But day 2 does have a tornado risk, a 2% chance of tornadoes. Not too significant, but still a 2%, and that's still pretty big. Having 2%, it's more significant than not having a 2% chance. So there's a chance of a tornado or two possible, but not the biggest threat, but there is a threat though. So we're going to watch the tornado threat tomorrow, because there's a bigger chance of tornadoes tomorrow than today. The hail chance for tomorrow goes actually up. 5% chance of hail, and then 15% chance of hail here, as you can see. And then we look at the wind here, and same thing, 5% chance of wind in the same areas, and 15% chance of the wind in most of these areas. So yeah. And then we look at day 3 categorical outlook here, and we see there's no severe weather really expected. No marginal risk or anything, just general thunderstorms in these 2 areas here, so really no severe weather expected. The NAM 3K model here this is as of 2 p.m. Maybe we're supposed to be seeing some isolated, possibly thunderstorms. One or two of them could have been severe, but the main line we're going to have to watch would be in Canada as of 2 p.m. As we go into 3 p.m., this line starts to move into parts of New York about 4 p.m. now. We see a line of thunderstorms continue to move toward New York and Vermont, parts of those regions. And we might see some thunderstorms ahead of it, with some hail and strong gusty winds, possibly. So then we go into 6 p.m. We continue to see thunderstorms for portions of this region here. We continue to go on. 7, 8 o'clock, we still see a line of thunderstorms in for New York, Vermont, getting into some portions of Pennsylvania possibly. So yeah, and then we'll continue, and then finally probably weekend around 11. Still could see a little bit of severe weather, but most of it should weaken by then, according to what this says. CAPE, this is the convective available potential energy, meaning this is instability for thunderstorms. And we see here in this region we have about 2,000 plus CAPE here, so we're gonna have enough for thunderstorm energy, enough instability for thunderstorms. And we're gonna play this out. 6, 7, 8 will still have convective available potential energy until about 12. Then it kind of goes away for most of this region. Now we're looking at the moisture here. As you can see, we see about some 70s right in here, most of this region. 70s, not really 80s, but still 70s enough for severe weather. 60s to 70s, it seems like lower 70s, upper 60s proportions of this region, so it's still enough for some severe weather here. This is probably not enough for like a severe weather outbreak kind of moisture, but still quite a bit of moisture still. 60 to some 70s is still pretty good moisture here for thunderstorms, as you can see. Okay, now we're looking at the shear for about this time. We see about 60 knots, but most of the storms are actually right around this region here, or some parts of this region. We might see a slight tornado risk, but I think it's going to remain low. We could see a slight chance as it continues, but because there is some 40 knots. 40 knots means there's enough for a tornado, for a few tornadoes in that area, and there is a few areas of 40% chance. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter here. We see a few higher here, but this is just one model, so 1.0. So we see there will be a little bit of a tornado chance when it moves into this region here. So we'll have to watch for maybe a little bit of a tornado chance there. Okay, so now we are looking at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're seeing nothing going on here, and we're gonna start seeing some thunderstorms start to develop around 12 o'clock. We'll start seeing some stronger thunderstorms for parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania. These are the ones we're going to have to watch for, because there is a tornado chance, a 2% chance, if you remember. And we see there is some storms developing for parts of that slight risk. Something I'm not seeing is not that many thunderstorms for this region here. That's a part of that slight risk. That might change as we continue to look on this model, but and there is a few thunderstorms, but there are a few thunderstorms here, and we're going to watch these for strong gusty winds, some large hail potentially for portions of these areas, and maybe a brief tornado or two for portions of this area. So, but this is around 4 p.m. We'll see some thunderstorms near Delaware, Maryland, parts of Virginia, New Jersey, and some storms may develop near portions of Massachusetts, Connecticut, possibly New York, develop around 4 p.m. Then we go into about 6 p.m. We'll see the storms leave some areas clearing out from it, but we still might see some thunderstorms near like Virginia, Maryland, getting closer to Delaware, but it looks like it's mainly moving out of there. Then we still have some leftover cells for parts of New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, possibly Rhode Island. So as we go on to 8 p.m., see most of these storms are out of the areas here. Maybe some still brief, some thunderstorms possibly for Virginia. Most of it should be though the Atlantic. And then we still see maybe a few thunderstorms for New York. It looks like it's mainly clearing out, and it looks like we'll clear out by about 8 p.m. Go forward, we see really there's nothing going on after around 11 to 10 p.m. Okay, now we're looking at the convective available potential energy for tomorrow. We have about 2,000 joules per kilogram for most of this region. Up here we see less, but we still see about 1,000 joules per kilogram for most of this region. So yeah, let's go forward a little more. We continue to see the Some of the storms are starting to take up some of that convective available potential energy, but we see a little bit of it rises up toward this region here as we go on to about 4 p.m. where those storms could develop. So let's go back and go to 6 p.m. Most of these storms still continuing with some convective available potential energy still, and then this area still has convective available potential energy of near 2,000 there in some of that area. By 8 p.m. We still see a little bit of it down here in Virginia because that's where the storms were according to the model, and maybe a little bit of convective energy for that area. And let's fast forward, and this is by the time really most of the storms are done, and we don't see really much convective available potential energy. The only area is really near North Carolina and near Virginia. We're looking at the moisture here. We see about 67, lower 70s here for most of this region. Upper 60s or lower 70s here for most of this region. As we go on, we'll see about 70 still. Here with the thunderstorms coming in, they're taking up some of that moisture. As we go into 4, we still have quite a bit of moisture for most of this region here where these thunderstorms are. It's right around that region. To go on, we start seeing it lower for parts of this region here. We still have some of those thunderstorms that could be impacting near Virginia, Maryland by 8 p.m. Some still 70s, lower 70s dew points there around that point. And then by the time they clear out, we don't see as much moisture over here. But we do still have quite a bit of moisture down here, but we're really not seeing a thunderstorm. Shear here for tomorrow, we see some 40 knots near Pennsylvania, some areas 30 near 40 knots around Connecticut, not quite 40 knots, but close, and off the coast about 40 knots, so we'll go a little bit more, about 26 hours out, see how much shear we have then for portions of this area, and we see about 40 knots for parts of New Jersey. So if we see thunderstorms around this area about that time, we could have a slight tornado chance. Most of this area about 30 knots, not quite 40 knots, but still close. But the biggest area I'd be concerned about for right now, at least on the NAM 3K, would be right around this region of a potential for a tornado threat tomorrow. Let's fast forward to 28 hours out here, and we are seeing still about some 40 knots here. We're starting to see some higher shear up here too, so I can see why they issued this 2% chance for this area because of this. There are some areas of 40 knots where these thunderstorms are going to be around. So we're going to have to watch that for tomorrow for some shear. So, yeah. But thank you guys for watching today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.